what's more, this comet is from another galaxy. Therefore, its behavior is not like that of comets, those originating from our own galaxy.
The moment did not happen in space. It happened under harsh white lights, inside a quiet press room, when a question slipped past the usual filters and landed directly in front of Vladimir Putin. It was not framed as science fiction. It was not framed as speculation. It was direct. An interstellar object, a close pass, anomalies. For a fraction of a second, the room held its breath. Then Putin smiled. Not a careful smile, not a defensive one, a small, controlled smirk. And with a tone that sounded almost casual, he called 3I Atlas a secret weapon. No qualifiers, no jokes to soften it, just 2 words that instantly changed the temperature of the room. Within minutes, the clip spread. Scientists paused live data streams to replay it. Analysts scrubbed the audio for tone. Intelligence watchers checked timestamps because the timing was impossible to ignore. The comment came only days after 3I Atlas executed a near-miss maneuver that defied every expectation built from previous interstellar visitors. This object had not simply passed through. Tracking logs showed it subtly altered its trajectory as it crossed the inner solar system. Not sharply, not dramatically. Just enough to be undeniable. Enough to rule out pure gravity. Enough to make experienced orbital modelers sit back in silence and rerun their equations again and again. Passive comets do not do that. As observatories compared notes, another problem surfaced. The brightness of 3I Atlas was pulsing, not randomly, not in a smooth decay pattern. The light curves rose and fell in irregular intervals that did not match gas jets, dust release, or rotational spin models. Instruments in different countries recorded the same fluctuations. Independent confirmation removed the comfort of error. Something about the object was inconsistent. The fear that followed was not loud. It was colder than that. No one was claiming aliens. No one was announcing proof of technology, but something far more unsettling crept in. World leaders do not joke about classified matters without reason, and they do not choose words like weapon by accident, especially after briefings that never reached the public. Then came the silence. No clarification from the Kremlin, no retraction, no explanation. Requests for follow-up were ignored. Diplomatic channels went quiet. Even space agencies shifted tone, releasing carefully neutral statements that avoided direct reference to the remark altogether. Every hour without context made the situation worse, because if the comment meant nothing, it would have been corrected. And if it meant something, the absence of denial suggested only one possibility. There were conversations happening behind closed doors that astronomers were not part of. Above Earth, 3I Atlas continued moving. And somewhere between the unanswered question, the unexplained maneuver, and the sudden global quiet, a far more dangerous realization began to form. One that would not stay contained for long, because the data stream was still updating. And the next anomaly was already on its way. Astronomers had prepared themselves for noise. They expected broken signals, scrambled numbers, and messy graphs after the flyby. What they did not expect was order. It began quietly. Independent observatories on different continents noticed the same thing within minutes of each other. Their raw data feeds lagged only for seconds, but the delay appeared synchronized. Not random, not explainable by weather, hardware strain, or network traffic. Screens froze, then resumed, as if someone had briefly pressed pause on the sky itself. Engineers checked clocks, timestamps aligned too perfectly. The room temperatures felt suddenly colder. As the data stabilized, a deeper problem emerged. Astrophysicists reviewing the velocity curves of 3I Atlas realized something was wrong. The object's speed changes did not fully match gravitational models. Even after accounting for solar radiation pressure, outgassing, and margin error, there was still a gap. A clean, stubborn gap. Quiet messages moved through internal channels linked to NASA-affiliated researchers. No press releases, no tweets. Just a shared conclusion whispered between teams. Gravity alone could not explain this motion. Then came Jupiter. As 3Y Atlas passed near the gas giant, its trajectory bent, but not the way simulations predicted. It wasn't the smooth arc of a natural slingshot. The curve tightened early, adjusted mid-pass, then relaxed again. The math suggested anticipation, not reaction. One analyst described it as meeting Jupiter halfway. Another deleted his comment minutes later. The models were rerun, again and again. Each time the same unsettling result appeared. Fear crept in through language, not panic, precision. When Avi Loeb addressed the anomaly, he chose every word carefully. He did not claim intelligence. He did not say alien, but he refused to rule it out. He emphasized behavior, patterns, outliers. He reminded listeners that dismissing the artificial too quickly had been a mistake before. The silence after his remarks lasted longer than the statement itself. Then someone aligned the timelines. Putin's offhand secret weapon comment had landed during the exact window of the Jupiter interaction, not before, not after, during. Analysts replayed the footage. The smirk, the pause, the way the question was not deflected. The realization spread quietly. Then all at once, the joke may not have been a joke at all. And just as scrutiny intensified, the data stopped coming. The final high-resolution frames captured by multiple observatories were never released. No explanation was given. Requests went unanswered. Governments issued no corrections, no reassurances. As 3I Atlas slipped beyond optimal tracking range, astronomers were left staring at incomplete charts and locked files, knowing the most critical moments were missing. Whatever had happened near Jupiter was already over, and whatever it meant was about to become far more dangerous. This time, the fear is not about collision or extinction. It is about intent. The realization spreads quietly at first, passing through encrypted chats, late-night calls, and hastily revised drafts of research papers. 3I Atlas did not behave like an object that merely wandered into the solar system. It reacted. Its motion was not chaotic. It was responsive. That single shift in understanding changes everything. Scientists who once asked where did it come from now ask a far more dangerous question. What did it want? As new analyses roll in, the discovery sharpens. The object's geometry refuses to fit known comet models. Its acceleration profile shows subtle corrections, small, precise adjustments that occur too cleanly to be dismissed as random outgassing. The margins are narrow. The timing is exact. Theorists point out that natural debris does not optimize its movement. Statistical models flag the behavior as an extreme outlier, hovering at the edge of what physics alone can explain. The phrase engineered-like appears in internal notes, then disappears just as fast. Then the thermal data arrives. Infrared scans reveal uneven heating across the surface of 3I Atlas. One side warms faster, another stays unexpectedly cool, not shadowed, not spinning away from the sun, shielded. That is the word whispered in labs and control rooms. Shielded implies design. Shielded implies intent. Comets do not choose which surfaces endure heat. This object seems to. And worse, the asymmetry remains stable even as the viewing angle changes, suggesting structure beneath whatever exterior it carries. Scientific fear escalates when comparisons begin. Analysts line up every known interstellar visitor. None match, not in reflectivity, not in thermal response, not in motion. Each comparison widens the gap instead of closing it. The pattern becomes undeniable. 3i Atlas is alone in the data set, a sample size of 1. And samples of 1 are the most dangerous because they rewrite the rules. The focus snaps back to Earth. Footage of Vladimir Putin's comment is replayed again and again. The smirk, the pause, the words secret weapon. What once sounded like dry humor now feels calibrated, not informative, deflective. Misdirection has a rhythm, and this fits it too well. Intelligence agencies remain silent. No clarification is issued. No denial follows. That silence becomes louder than any statement. Now the clock tightens. 3i Atlas is leaving the inner solar system. Its trajectory carries it beyond the range of the most powerful instruments. Requests for the final high-resolution data go unanswered. Some feeds are delayed, others never appear. Scientists are left with partial frames and unresolved equations. The object is moving on, and whatever it did here may already be complete. The most unsettling thought settles in last. Reconnaissance does not require communication. It only requires observation. And as 3i Atlas fades into the dark, humanity is left staring at the space it once occupied, wondering whether this was a brief encounter or the opening move. And just as that question takes hold, a new alert begins circulating, hinting that what comes next may not be as distant as everyone hoped.